You ever feel stuck? I mean, really stuck, like you're just watching your own life from the sidelines. Well, today, we're gonna talk about a habit that holds so many of us back, and the one single decision that can change absolutely everything. So let's get right into this story. It starts in a place a lot of us might recognize, feeling completely, utterly broke. And not just in your wallet, but broke in spirit. We call this first part the trap of inaction. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that feeling of being frozen. You know you should be doing something, anything, but you just can't. Let's just be real for a second. This is a mirror for a lot of us, right? The hours, they just seem to evaporate. You get to the end of the day, and you're like, wait, where did all that time actually go?
And this is where it goes, into the endless scroll. That mindless, hypnotic state where you're just consuming, but creating nothing. It kind of feels like you're connected, but really, you're completely disconnected from your own potential.
And here's the real kicker. All that time you spend scrolling is time you're not spending learning. And if you're not learning, you are not growing. It's really that simple. You're just standing still while the rest of the world keeps moving.
Being stuck in that inaction loop, it has a real-world cost. It can make you feel completely invisible. I mean, when you're not growing or contributing, it's so easy to feel like you just don't matter, like people are looking right through you.
And for the person in our story, feeling invisible had an actual price tag. This was his reality, $10. That was it. The sum total of his worth in that moment. $10, no job, and just this crushing feeling of being anchored to the bottom.
But this is where the story turns. Because even when you feel like you have nothing, you still have one incredibly powerful thing left. You have the ability to make a choice. And this next chapter, it's all about that one single decisive moment.
And in that moment, you're really facing a choice. And the contrast couldn't be more clear. The path of inaction, it leads to exactly what you'd expect, more of the same. You stay poor, you stay stuck, you stay ignored. But the path of action, whoa, that's where you create change, build a future, and finally earn respect. Same person, two totally different destinies.
And this right here is the pivot point. It wasn't some kind of luck. It wasn't some outside force stepping in. It was an internal commitment, one conscious decision to stop scrolling and start doing.
So, what does action even look like in the real world? Well, it starts with a single choice, and it builds into a powerful result. This is the journey from learning to earning.
The first step wasn't some huge, impossible leap. It was small. He just traded his time on social media for time on learning platforms. He started focusing on skills that could solve real problems. He literally turned his phone from a distraction into a classroom.
Now this timeline is so important because it shows this was not an overnight success story. It was a process. Month 1 was just making the decision. That's it. The next 4 months, that was the grind, the consistent daily effort. It actually took half a year before he saw his first dollar of income. This is all about discipline, not magic.
And what happens after all that discipline? You get a new reality. This is what happens when you stop letting the days happen to you and you start making them happen for you.
From $10 to his name to $10,000 a month. Just take a second and let that transformation sink in. This number isn't just about the money. It represents freedom, respect, and the unbelievable power of changing one single habit.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole story? It's a simple, undeniable truth. The thing that defines successful people isn't some crazy genius or dumb luck. It's a bias toward action.
They don't wait for the perfect time, because let's be honest, that doesn't exist. They don't wait for inspiration to magically strike, and they definitely don't wait for someone else to give them permission. They just start.
And that really brings us right back to you. His entire story, his entire transformation, it all started with one decision: to trade inaction for action. So the only question that really matters right now is, what will yours be?